You, yes, you have no more excuses. I'm of course talking to my reflection in this camera screen preview and talking to myself here because Street Fighter 6 is actually getting a lot of quality of life updates with the My release upcoming, and they announced two of them in the past 2 days about what features are actually adding with that release, and I think they're actually really impactful. So we haven't gotten updates on costumes or colors or things that are more casual and fun that a lot of the audience, including myself, have been asking for. But I am actually pretty impressed with these quality of life upgrades, and they do spell the end of the tilt queuing epidemic, and we'll get into that in a second. But the first quality of life upgrade is actually the match restore feature that will be added in custom rooms. And this is when a fight is interrupted mid-match due to a problem, resume the fight by restarting at the start of the round when the disconnection occurred. One-on-one only. So you can see here the setting that you can set in your custom room for match restore on, which is wild because think about this. So many of our competitive tournaments are now occurring in the online world, whether it's just a regular weekly or even the CPT, the Capcom Pro Tour itself. The vast majority of the qualifications come from online tournaments, at least in this past season. Who knows if they're going to change to a more offline direction going forward. But if you think about it, for this season, of the 48 qualifiers, only 10 of them were offline, 38 were from online. And during these tournaments, disconnections happen all the time. I mean, the netcode is great, so they avoid a lot of the issues, but there's been plenty of examples of high-profile tournaments where there's a disconnect, someone has an internet outage, some kind of issue occurs, or the lobby just disconnects for no reason. It does occasionally happen, even in Street Fighter 6's improved netcode. And usually when that happens, either in a non-CPT format, they might try to recreate the scenario where it disconnected, because imagine player 1 is up a round, player 2 is down a round. Do you just call the match entirely, or do you give player 1 the round to even up the advantage that they had from the game before the disconnect occurred? What about the meter situation, though? What if player 1 got the round, but player 2 had full super meter, right? There's a lot of things that happen between the rounds where you can't just completely restore that exact setting. So that's actually really interesting that it'll resume where the round left off. I'm assuming they mean literally by putting you into that same situation, same round count at 99 seconds with the same meter. That can really smooth this process over, because it becomes a scramble where people often will like do one jab so that they get the life lead and let 99 seconds tick by until it goes to the next round where the round count is where they actually left off, and then play from there. And it just wastes time for everybody. So I can see this being a big standard in CPT tournaments going forward to just kind of smooth over those hiccups that can occasionally occur. So I think that's actually a really big play, and will probably change the CPT ruling for online tournaments. I'm assuming this is going to be a standard feature that you leave on going forward. So I think that's pretty cool. Big props to Capcom for that one. But the main feature I want to talk about is, of course, not this one. It's this one. Replay feature improvements with the My update. You'll be able to watch the replays from the most recent match results screen of ranked or casual match. While playing a replay, you'll be able to pause and use the menu even during round calls or after a KO. The pause menu also has been reorganized to make it easier to access frequently used items such as change playback round. So they show here in this screen, just ignore My there. Look obviously at the menu on the bottom left of the screen where your eyes should be darting to right now. You see the middle option there is watch replay, which is huge. How many of you right now have not even used the replay feature in Street Fighter 6? In fact, how many of you did not even know this feature existed? I think the replay feature plus the replay takeover, which they added, is one of the greatest fighting game features of all time, because it speeds up your iteration. It cuts down on the time between iterating on your current game plan and current knowledge of the game by giving you tools to immediately hop in literally where the game left off at any kind of pausing moment to quickly take over and test different options and quickly iterate on your game plan in any given situation. However, the issue is when they added this to, I believe it was the Terry update, if I remember correctly, they buried it in the replay menu, which is so many steps away from where you are when you play a match. Which means, first of all, a lot of people didn't even know that the replay takeover existed, because you had to get into the replay itself, right? Which was so far away from the actual game mode. You had to go back to the main menu, be out of any playable mode, go to the pause menu in the fighting ground menu or one of the non-actual gaming modes, then go into the replay system, and we'll show how it works. But because of that, so many people didn't even bother going in there. They didn't even know the replay takeover existed. And on top of that, for those who did know replay takeover existed, it was too inconvenient to get to it, and the matchmaking rank system is too addicting that you would get into a ranked feedback loop. You would start tilt queuing. Here I tweeted, "0 excuses now. Don't tilt queue. Go into the replay takeover immediately." Talking to myself mostly here, because even myself, I would want to be disciplined about it. But when you lose that set, you're salty. You want to go back to the main menu and you want to get a rematch right away to get the W to soothe the ego. And this would lead to this ranked tilt queue vortex because, frankly, the matchmaking was too good. It is too good, right? You get too many matches too quick. It actually has a negative aspect psychologically to that. I think people get addicted to it, myself included. So I used to make myself have discipline to my ranked sessions to force myself to go into the replay takeover to learn at least one thing for the match that I lost, which would serve myself in two ways. One, I would add a tiny bit of game knowledge, which would help me slowly improve over time. If every loss you learn one thing, after enough losses, you're going to be amazing, right? You're going to keep building on your knowledge of the game every single time. But two, it would also let you psychologically calm down and avoid going on the ranked queue vortex. But let me demonstrate here how bad this process used to be. All right, so I got cooked here, right? And I want to figure out what I can do better. When I go ahead and hit quit on this screen, you see here there's no way for me to actually hop into the replay, right? It's not here. Here's the fastest way I can actually get into the replay from this moment. I go to quit ranked matches. Now it's going to take me back into where I was before, which is the training mode. So now I have to go to return to mode select, and that'll bring me back to this main menu here. Here I can pause the game, go to CFN, go to replays, then go to my replays. And on here, I still don't even see my own replays. I have to go to filter, remove these guys so I can see myself. Then I can load up my replay, and then I can watch the replay from here. That many steps just to watch the replay. And I'm salty, and all I want to do is hit rematch right away. But instead, I have to dig through all these menus to actually take a breather and learn from my mistakes. And actually, here at the end of this round, campaign hits me with a nasty chips sequence. What if I wanted to figure out how to get out of the sequence? But the problem is, I accidentally go a little bit too far. So I want to save state and take over right here. I want to take over right here. So if I'm zooming around in the menu, I can hit switch to player control right here and take over and practice getting out of the setup, which you can see here. He sets up here. Maybe I'd have to do a level 2. Maybe I'm screwed, right? I don't think there's anything I can do there. But say I try to get to this situation and I accidentally messed up the pausing, right? Or if I'm skipping around, say I'm trying to skip through the menu. Even there, I accidentally backed out of the replay. These menus are tough. So, say I'm actually trying to, now that I'm back in the game, say I'm trying to actually skip to that moment and take it over. If I accidentally go too far here and the game KOs, I can't pause the game here. It locks me out of the menu. It's so easy to accidentally skip fast through the replay to get to the moment at the end and accidentally go to the KO point. And then what you have to do to return to that moment, you have to hit play again, reload the intro, go back to round 1, pause the menu again, go back here to change the playback round to the round, then do it all over again and be extremely careful this time to not skip too far through this moment and accidentally KO again and repeat the process. There's been so many moments on stream I'm trying to get to a moment at the end of a replay, and I do this multiple times on accident. It's so frustrating. You feel so dumb. It is a bit of user error, but at the same time, the UI and the way the pausing works in the menus, it could definitely have used some streamlining and some assistance to let me pause during this moment. And yeah, that's exactly what Capcom did with this feature, right? You'll be able to, while playing a replay, you'll be able to pause and use the menu even during round calls or after a KO. So they solved the main two problems of getting into the replay itself and some annoying things when actually dealing with the replay takeover. So I'm really happy to see this change. And basically, there's no excuse anymore. When you take an L, you need to hit watch replay, get familiar with replay takeover, and learn from your mistakes. This makes iterating so much faster. The key to improving is to use the modern tools we have available to slow down the time between successful attempts. If there's an obscure punish, that situation might come up only once a month in your ranked sessions. But with the replay takeover, you can recreate it instantly and lab it over and over and over. Without using these tools, you're playing like cavemen in the dark, dude. We're not still in the arcade era. You can recreate the situations using your tools in training mode with save states to quickly iterate, and now with the replay takeover, they've improved the quality of life to getting into the feature. No excuses. Let's lab it up, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.